Om. Om. Sahana vavatu. Sahanau bhunaktu. Sahaviryankaravavahai. Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Welcome back to the study of the Viveka Chudamani. We are starting a new subject, the subject of Maya. But in order to arrive at this subject, Sri Shankaracharya has laid the foundation for the discussion by saying that we experience happiness and joy, or happiness and misery, joy and misery, sukhi dukhi. When things are very favorable to us, we feel happy, and when things are not favorable to us, we feel unhappy. And why is it that things become both positive and negative in our life? What is the reason that why is it not possible for us to be always happy? Is it required for us to be unhappy in this universe? If there was a perfect world, so to say, which is which is something which we cannot think of, if there was a perfect world, there would be only happiness. Why should there be unhappiness? So, having said that, Shankaracharya says, he gives an answer to that. He said, Atmarthatvena hi prayan vishayo na swataha priyaha. The sense objects, they are enjoyable only as dependent on the Atman that is manifesting through them. It means the self is manifesting through that. And therefore, it is pleasing to us. See, Sri Ramakrishna gives an example. Suppose a near and dear relative has just passed away, and the news comes to you, and just at the same time, another news about your winning a lottery comes to you. Would you be totally happy about the news that you have received, or are you really unhappy because you have lost a dear and near ones? So that is the question that he asks, Sri Ramakrishna asks. You will not be able to enjoy the news of your winning the lottery when a near and dear ones has just passed away. Even though there is joy, there is an element of joy in receiving the good news, yet there is a greater element of sadness or sorrow when we receive the news about the passing away of our near and dear ones. So that is to say that Atmarthatvena, it is for the sake of the self. Whatever the self puts its mind in, that makes you either happy or miserable. See? The same object may be pleasing at times. Now that it is winter for us, now heat will be most welcome. Whereas in summer, the same heat will be unwelcome. So it says Atmartatvena, because you have your self is going in and through that, you are enjoying it because of the sake of your own self. Atmartatvena sukhi dukhi. Swata eva hi sarvesham atma priyatamo matah. Why? Because this self is the nearest and dearest for you. Whatever is good for it, it will enjoy. Whatever is undesirable for it, whatever gives it any pain, it rejects it or it does not enjoy. Atmartatveni. So that is a mention from Yajnavalkya's statement to his wife Maitreyi. Nava are patyuh kamaya patih priyo bhavatyatmanastu kamaya patih priyo bhavati. A husband becomes dear, not for the sake of the husband, him becoming the husband, but because of one's own self. He is my husband. She is my wife. So that it is because of me. That means it is because of the self that the husband becomes dear, or the wife becomes dear, or the child becomes dear. It is all, that's why it is all dependent upon one's own self, as it is said. Therefore, that was clarified by Sri Shankaracharya in this. Then he further goes into the next verse, 107th verse. Yat sushuptau nirvishaya atma anando anubhuyate shrutihi pratyakshamaityam anumanam cha jagrati. That in profound sleep we experience the bliss of the Atman independent of sense objects is clearly attested by the Shruti, that is in the Chandogya, Bradanyaka, Kaushitaki and other Upanishads. There, by Shruti and direct perception, we are feeling it directly by tradition and by inference. These are the different methods by which one can verify the truth. One is, what is it? By Shruti. That means by the words of the scripture, because the words of the scripture are the written, or it is that which has been heard by from the mouths of the realized souls. And then direct perception, one can perceive it directly, and by tradition. That means my grandfather, and others, or my guru, grand guru, and others, they have mentioned it. And then there is the inference also. That means the Parvato Vandiman Dhruvato Mat. That is one of the standard examples that that is given. You see smoke in far away, and then you assume or you infer that there is fire over there just by looking at the smoke. You infer that there is fire. So that is called as inference. All of these are different pramanas, or all of these are different proofs by which we can understand the presence of the Atman. The Atman, because in the deep sleep, my eye is still awake. So when I wake up, I tell myself, I have slept very well. I did not know anything at all. So that is what it is. Atma. That means your Atman, yourself, is the nearest and dearest to you. This nearest and dearest self needs to be verified. It needs to be understood, needs to be experienced in day-to-day life, because we forget our true self and we project our wrong self, or we project our false self, that I am this body, that I am a Swami, and so on and so forth. All of these are mere coatings on that, but the real pith or the real essence is far, far deeper or far, far different than the externals. Externals are mere coatings. That's what Shankaracharya saying. So having said this, Shankara says, why is it that we do not realize our real nature? Why can't we always feel that we are one with the Atman or one with Brahman? That is the question that is asked. So for that, Shankaracharya brings in the concept of the Maya, which which is a very strong point in Vedanta. See, if we study the very authentic texts of Advaita Vedanta, like the Mandukya Upanishad and all that, there the Upanishad or the Shruti or the scriptures, they do not give you any other choice but to assert that you are the self. But the question always remains, how is it that I am not feeling who I am in, in essence? Why is it that the world outside looks more tempting to me? Why is it looking more dear to me than my own self? So, for that, in order to answer that question, Shankaracharya or Advaita has to bring in the concept of Maya. Some say that it is the concept of Maya has come from Buddhism. It might be true or may not be true. We don't go into the polemics of that, but we will just try to understand what Maya means according to Vedanta. Avyaktanamni Paramesha Shaktihi Anadya Vidya Trigunaatmika Para Karyanumeya Sudhiyaiva Maya Yaya Jagat Sarvamidam Prasuyate. So Shankaracharya defines this. Avidya or nescience or Maya called as the undifferentiated avyakta namni paramesha shakti. Maya is known as the undifferentiated. And what is it? It is the power of the Lord. It is the Shakti of the Lord. Avya Paramesha Shakti. It's a unique power of the divine called Avyakta. That which Avyakta means undifferentiated. That means unmanifested nature. For example, a seed, bija or a seed, is undifferentiated. It has not been manifest. It is called a avyakta. A seed is unmanifest. But when it sprouts, then it becomes manifest. It becomes differentiated, vyakta. So similarly, nature has these two dimensions. That is undifferentiated and the differentiated. That which has not yet sprouted and that which has already sprouted. These are the two differences of, these are the true meanings of avyakta and vyakta. And then he says, it is Paramesha Shakti. It is the power of the divine, power of God. In some of the Upanishads, this is it is mentioned. For example, one of my favorite Upanishads, Shvetashvatara Upanishad, it says, Mayantu Prakritim Vidyat Mayinantu Maheshwaryam Tasya Avayava Bhutaistu Vyaptam Sarvam Idam Jagat. That is, know the nature to be Maya, this universe that we see around us. It is indeed Maya, and the great Lord is the Adhisha, or it is the ruler of this Maya. So Paramesha Shakti. Anadi. It says this is Anadi. It is beginningless. When did this universe come into existence? One cannot say. It has been there for eternity. But it is Santa. That means Sa-anta, not Shanta. It is Sa-anta. It has an end. It has an end for me, the individual soul. When I merge with the divine, then this universe completely vanishes. That is what is called as mukti. Moksha or mukti is nothing but the salt doll melting in the ocean. I think I have given this example before. A salt doll, it gets its own individuality, and then it feels that it should measure the depth of the ocean. So it goes into the ocean. As soon as it gets into the ocean, it loses its identity, separate identity. It becomes one with the ocean. So that is what it is. We have Santa, but we have Ananta. That means that which is that which is beginningless, Anadi, Ananta. So, and he says, Avyakta Namni Paramesha Shakti Anadi, that is Navid, Avidya, Trigunatmika Para, Anadi Avidya. Avidya means not having any knowledge is called as Avidya. That is one of the meanings of Avidya. The other thing is lack of knowledge. That means absence of knowledge, which is almost similar to the previous ones. Anadi, avidya. So it is anadi and it is avidya. That means it does not have any consciousness of its own. It is dependent upon the Brahman for its knowledge, its consciousness. So it is like a borrowed light. You know, we place a mirror here, and then it reflects the light that is in this room. And if I turn the mirror to the dark places in the room, it will illumine the darkness. But it is borrowed light. So similarly, this world that is giving us so much of joy as well as sorrow, it does not have any essence of its very own. It is dependent upon the divine for it to be illuminated. And as soon as the divine withdraws its illumination, its projection, that very moment it vanishes to you. That is what he is saying here. And then he says it is Triguna Atmika. What is the composition of this world? It is Triguna Atmika. That means it is made up of the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. We have seen this already. This is the composition of Maya. So before this projection or this manifestation of this universe, these three gunas, they remain in a dormant state. We will answer the question later. So I will thank you for asking that question. Please remind me after this to answer that question if you have not, if it is not answered during the study here. So Trigunatmika is that which is in a dormant state before the universe is projected. Trigunatmika. It is all in that state of equilibrium, as it is known as. There is no manifestation, and it is Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas is not at all function. It is undisturbed in that state. So, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, it starts moving, spandana. It is known as spandana or vibrating. Starts vibrating, and the whole universe comes into manifestation. That is the idea. So, Trigunatmika Para, and Where is it? How is it there? Karya anumeya. It is superior to the effects. That means when it is manifest, then it is either good or bad or negligible. So these three things happen. So, but in the original state, this sattva, rajas, and tamas is in a causal state. Therefore, it is much greater than the manifestation itself. We will come to the explanation of this in greater detail here. Just for another example that is given is a tree has got its, when you see a tree, you infer that this tree has grown from a seed or from another sprout. So it is growing from that. And the essence, that is the essence, that the seed which hides within itself, which encompasses within itself the whole tree, even though it is very tiny in size, it contains enormous possibilities. That's why one of our Swamis used to call yoga as the science of infinite possibilities. Science of infinite possibility. There is infinite possibilities in every being. One needs to manifest it. That's all. So, anadi karya anumeya. It is greater than the uh, the effect. She is to be inferred by one of clear intellect. Sudhiya eva karya anumeya. So we infer something, but then we should know that the cause is hidden in the effect. The cause is hidden in the effect. So that has to be very clearly understood when we study this part of the scripture. Sudhiya iva maya karyanumeya sudhiya iva maya. Sudhiya iva. That means it has to be understood by a clear intellect, not by a clouded intellect, but by a clear intellect. A keen intelligence can detect this subtle cause behind this whole manifestation, this gross, visible universe. If you go deeper and deeper, see, meditation is one of those things which helps us to go deeper and deeper into the subject, very subject itself. As you go dive deeper and deeper, you will see great possibilities hidden within ourselves. Karyanumiya sudhiya. Dhi means intelligence. Yes, with a keen intelligence. Sudhiya means with keen intelligence, one can detect this subtle but very powerful meaning towards a meaning of life itself. And then yaya jagat sarvam idam prasuyate. It is this maya that brings the whole universe to existence. This she prasuya means to deliver or to give birth. This whole universe, just as uh, a baby is delivered from the mother's womb, this whole universe comes from the great womb. It is called as Hiranya Garbha. Uh, one of the technical terms for it is Hiranya Garbha. Hiranya means of gold, of golden complexion or of gold. This womb is like big ball of gold from which the whole universe comes out. It is just allegorical. It is just for example. We should not take it literally. So this is what he says as Maya. It is she who brings forth the whole universe. See? Um, Here, there is a footnote if you study this book. This, this power, that means Trigunatmika, Maya Shakti, this distinguishes the Vedantic conception of Maya from the Sankhya view of Prakriti, which they call insentient and at the same time independent. So the Sankhya philosophy says there is what is called as the Purusha and the Prakriti. Both are eternal entities. Purusha is inert, whereas Prakriti is active. And Prakriti brings forth the Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, and from them the whole universe, the five cosmic, mm, that means Akasha, Vayu, and other cosmic principles. So that is, this difference is there. Whereas Vedanta says that this Prakriti or nature is nothing but a manifestation of Brahman itself. Brahman is, though even though Brahman is not functioning, Brahman is silent, or Brahman is not doing any action, performing any action, yet with the help of Maya, which is his own manifestation, this whole universe comes into being. Whereas Brahman is as he is or as it is, whichever you use. We sometimes say Brahman as he, sometimes as it also. And Sri Ramakrishna goes even further. He calls Brahman as she. So there is no gender difference here at all. He, she, or it doesn't matter. It is what it is. Brahman is what it is. So therefore, here this small difference between Sankhya philosophy and the Vedanta philosophy is explained over here in this verse, in the footnote of this verse. So, as Shankaracharya was a Vedantin, he gives the Prakriti a different name and calls it as Maya. See, and the evolutionary consequences, etc., is almost the same as the Sankhya philosophy. In fact, Sankhya philosophy, to be very fair to the philosophy itself, Sankhya philosophy goes very deep into the cosmological evolution of the universe, the evolution of the cosmos. It goes very deep, and it's very much akin to modern science also. Now, in the next verse, which is a very important verse, Sri Shankaracharya is trying to tell us what is the nature of this unique power called Maya. What is the real nature? One, of course, that it is Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. It is the mother of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. That is understandable. But what is its spiritual significance? Can it Can you see Maya as she is? Can you explain Maya totally? Can you take Maya to be absolutely real as if it is an entity, just like Brahman or the divine is an entity? Can you accept Maya also as an absolutely real entity? No. This is what Shankaracharya says. It is very mysterious. This verse is one of my favorite verses, and therefore I will try to dwell upon this a little in some detail at least. Sannapya sanna yuvayatmikano ubhayatmikano bhinnapya bhinna pyubhayatmikano sangapyananga hyubhayatmikano mahadbhuta nirvachaniya rupa. It's very poetical, very uh, very sonorous verse. Sannapya sannapyubhayatmikano sat na api asat. Sat means that which exists. Truth is also known as existence, that which exists. That which is always existent is known as truth. So he says, what is the nature of this Maya? What is the nature of the world around us? Or what is the nature of the creation of this universe? This is being very beautifully explained here. He said, she is neither existent nor non-existent. See? And he says, we'll take the last one. Mahadbhuta Anirvachaniya Rupa. Says, this is Mahadbhuta. It's a profound wonder. It's a great mystery. And says it is Anirvachaniya Rupa. While I am trying to explain what Maya is, Shankaracharya says here, while I am trying to explain what Maya is, I myself do not know what it is because it is unexplainable. It is very mysterious. Just like we are trying to explain darkness. Can you explain what darkness is? Except that darkness means absence of light. Is there no darkness? Well, if you think very deeply, you will say, well, it appears that there is darkness, and where there is no light, there is darkness. But in actuality, it is absence of light. Light has not permeated there. It has not percolated through the darkness. Therefore, we see dark. But as soon as a torch is brought in, a lamp is lit, the whole room becomes visible. So, while darkness is not an entity, just like the day or the sun, in the same way, this Maya or this universe is unexplainable. It is very difficult for us to explain. That's what Sri Shankaracharya says here in the last line of this verse. Mahadbhuta. It is wondrous, or it is mysterious and anirvachaniya. It cannot be described. You cannot pinpoint and say, this is Maya. Because as soon as you pinpoint, as soon as the light is lit, darkness totally disappears. You cannot get hold of darkness at all. You cannot put it in a bottle and then imprison it. You cannot do that. So that is what he says, anirvachaniya. That which nirvachana means to speak about or to designate something is called as nirvachana. That we cannot speak about it. No definition is possible for this Maya. Yet, Shankaracharya tries to describe it because the disciple asks, what is this universe? What is it that I am seeing around me? How did it come to manifest? All of these questions are asked by the disciple. So there is the teacher is duty bound to explain this. Therefore, he says, she is neither existent, sat na api, asat na api. We cannot say that it exists. Then can we say it is non-existent? No, that also we cannot say. So then can we say that it is a mixture of both existence and non-existence? No, even that we cannot say. And then he says, bhinna api, abhinna api, ubhayatmika no. It appears to be bhinna. That means it appears to be different from myself, the sense of my existence. But yet, abhinna, it is not different from you. It is not different from us. The whole universe is not different from us. It appears as if it is different. A table appears to be different from me, but yet the table is also made of the same five elements that I am made of. As such, I am one with the table. But in practical life, I cannot say that it is non-existence because I see some difference outside. So I do not experience God as one with myself because I see um, so many things that are ungodly within myself. Therefore, I cannot deeply express myself as the divine. But yet, am I not the divine? If you go deeper and deeper into it, yes, I am the same as the divine in at least one aspect, that I come from the divine and I go back to the divine. Sanna. But in the middle, this Maya, it creates this bifurcation, as it were. It creates this screen, as it were. Bhinna api, abhinna ubayatmika. No, she's neither uh, different or nor is he the same. Bhinna api, abhinna. Then it says, Sangapi anangahi ubhayatmika. No, she is neither composed of parts nor an indivisible whole. So what I say, neither composed of parts nor an indivisible whole, or nor both. We cannot predict whether it is with parts or without parts, or it is combined. We cannot say. None of these predictions can be made about the nature, because nature is definitely beyond all the predictions that we are aware of. Therefore, he says, she is Mahadbhuta Anirvachaniya Rupa. She is mysterious. See, long, long ago, the sages, rishis of our culture, they had discovered that whatever is conditioned by these three things, Triputi, space, time, and causation, it belongs to the realm of the relative. Our entire universe, which is our thoughts, our perceptions, even our individual ego, it all falls within this network of cause and effect relationship. So this is indeed Maya. This is indeed the mysterious way the Maya expresses itself. So now we have the theory of relativity. Those of you who are students of science, of physics especially, you are all aware of this, the theory of relativity. It is all relative to a particular space, particular time, but it cannot be applied everywhere. So Swami Vivekananda, in his lecture on Maya, he very beautifully puts this, and it's one of the uh, most comprehensive explanations about Maya, or more comprehensive definitions of Maya. And he says there, Maya is not a theory for the explanation of the world. It is not a theory for explaining the world, but it is simply a statement of fact as it exists, as they exist. That the very basis of our being is contradiction. That wherever there is good, there must also be evil. And wherever there is evil, there must also be some good. Wherever there is evil, there must be some good also over there. And wherever there is life, death must follow as its shadow. That's what the Bhagavan Buddha also says very beautifully, eh, that death follows you like a shadow. Death follows you like shadow. It is there all the time. When we stand in the sun, can we escape our own shadow? No, we cannot. It is there all the time. We cannot reject the shadow and we go forward. It is there. And it is a fact of life. So Maya is this statement of fact. And um, uh, I will indulge you in some reading from Swami Vivekananda's lecture on Maya. Please bear with me. He says, this eternal play of light and darkness, this indiscriminate, indistinguishable, inseparable, it's always there. Fact, yet at the same time, not a fact. It appears like a fact, but yet it is not a fact. Awake and at the same time asleep. This is a statement of facts, and this is what is called as Maya. Swami Vivekananda continues and he says, we are born in this Maya. We live in it. We think in it. We dream in it. We are philosophers in it. We are spiritual men in it. Nay, we are devils in this Maya. See, beautiful words, Swami Vivekananda, very forceful words. And we are gods also in this Maya. We are devils as well as gods. Stretch your ideas as far as you can. Make them higher and higher. Call them infinite or by any other name you please. Even these ideas are within this Maya. It cannot be otherwise. And the whole of human knowledge is a generalization of this Maya, trying to know it as it appears to be. This is the work of name and form, Nama and Rupa. Everything that has form, everything that calls up an idea in your mind is within Maya. For everything that is bound by the laws of time, space, and causation is within Maya. As I mentioned earlier, this Maya is of this triangular shape, space, time, and causation. This is what is known as Maya. See, this, the principle of indetermination. That is what um, Heisenberg spoke about. So that's what for science also says, that there is this thing called indetermination. That is, we cannot determine that this is it. As soon as you try to point out a finger over there, it has disappeared or it has vanished from that place. So we cannot say that this universe is real, cannot also say that this world is unreal. From the standpoint of view of the I am Brahman, this whole universe will look or will not appear at all to us in the first place. Maya, it is not non-existent. But from the standpoint view of our existence, that is our worldly, earthly existence, we feel that this is real, very much real. But as soon as we withdraw our mind from it, it totally vanishes. Then Sri Ramakrishna used to go into samadhi, deep samadhi. The whole universe would come to a standstill to him. Even his breath would stop. Doctors came and examined him, checked with a stethoscope his heartbeat, no pulse, no breathing. They put a uh, cotton wool near his nose, no, nothing. But yet, after some time, he comes back. The world vanishes to him at that moment, and then he comes back, and he is as happy and and joyful as he always is. So that is what this universe is. This world seems to be very real to us, but yet it does not have any absolute reality. That is what Sri Shankaracharya is trying to say. It is a mysterious wonder. So in another Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, which is a teaching of the Lord of Death, Yama, to Nachiketa, the young disciple. There he says, Aho Atikambhira Vichitra idam Maya Yadayam Sarve Jantavaha Paramartha Tattvopi Paramarthata iti manyate. This beautifully says there, Aho Atikambhira. This is really mysterious. It's very deep, very difficult to understand. Vichitra, it is mysterious. Idam Maya. Yadayam Sarve Jantavaha. That means even the beings, human beings, Paramarthata Atatvopi, even though it is devoid of any real essence, Tattva means essence, real essence, yet people take it as very real, as if the whole existence is dependent upon this universe outside. That is, we are external looking. We are always looking outward. Our senses are all outward going. We never look into ourselves, deeper within ourselves. So that is because of the nature of Maya. We are all caught in this snare or this mesh of Maya. Therefore, it does not allow us to see the reality. We are blindfolded, as it were, by Maya. It says, do not look at me. Do not look at the reality. But just be happy with what you are, what you have been given. Just be happy or be miserable with what you have been given, whatever it is. So, but one who goes beyond this realm of Maya. How to go beyond the realm of Maya? There are many methods. One of the easiest methods, Sri Ramakrishna says, it is to pray to the Divine Mother. Oh Mother, remove this wheel of Maya from me. Remove this. I want to be away from all of this. I want to realize my identity with you. Take me back in your arms and make me one with yourself. This is one of the easiest methods that Sri Ramakrishna says. Of course, there are the other methods for those who are intellectually minded. For them, it is the path of discrimination, is the path of neti, neti, not this, not this, not this. This body is not mine, this mind is not mine, this intellect is not mine, this ego is not mine. So you negate everything and then you realize your identity. All of these, there are these different methods which different paths describe to us. But Sri Shankaracharya has given us a definition to this very mysterious Maya, which is enveloping us all the time, which is making us forget our true identity. Why I'm not able to realize that I am a part and parcel of the divine? Why am I not able to see that I am a child of the divine? See, because of all of this Maya, it has enveloped us, it has covered us. So we need to keep on trying to get rid of this influence of Maya. Then the karma theory, everything will vanish. Everything will evaporate, as it were. Then one becomes Jivan Mukta, one becomes free from all the future lives. That means birth and death. So that is the idea that has been given here. So, Sannapya Sanna Shubhyatmikan. So we will take up the next verse and we meet next year. That is on the 26th of June. We will again meet here. Okay. Yes, there was some query or question. I would like to read that. So reflected consciousness is also called a jiva. Yes, jiva is nothing but reflection of reflected consciousness is jiva. You're right. Reflected within this body-mind consciousness.
From
This
the
body-mind.
divine. From Brahman. Reflection from Brahman.
Reflection, yeah, you can say it as a reflect. See, Brahman does not have any parts, does not have any form. Okay? So therefore, there is no question of where will Brahman reflect itself. There is nothing to reflect it, isn't it?
Mm.
There is nothing to reflect it. So we can say that actually according to Vedanta, this jiva or individual soul is nothing but a nothing but a combination of the antakarana. That means the mana, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, and I will explain that to you a little later. Man, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, and ahankara. These are the four things. So that is called as the individual soul or the jiva. That means the mind, the chitta, that means the lake in which the mind is being reflected, chitta, then buddhi, that means the intellect, and the ahankara, the I sense. I am a jiva, I am an individual. That thought, that is that is it, that which is holding all of these three things. That means mana, buddhi, and chitta. This ahankara or this ego is holding all of this. So as soon as the Brahmajnana dawns, the knowledge of Brahman dawns, as soon as that dawns, then this whole jiva or this jivatma completely dissipates or disappears. Just as I gave you the example of the light and the darkness. So darkness, is it a reality? Is it a reflected part of the light? No, it is not a reflected part of the light. It's just absence of light, that's all. Similarly, absence of Brahman is the soul, the jiva. So we are all nothing but, maybe our ego is nothing but an absence of the divine over here. So this just merges, it just evaporates. Another example that is given is of the camphor. You're all aware of the camphor. So when you light up a camphor, what happens? The camphor completely dissipates. Similarly, so is that to say that there is no light? No, there is light, but the light is not existent just in that camphor. It just dissipates after some time. It is just borrowed light, you can say. You can really say that it is borrowed, the part of Brahman, but it is an individual being. I have tried to assume myself to or ascribe to myself the idea that I am a body, I am an individual, and so on and so forth. That moment I dissipate this idea that I have a body or I am an individual, that moment you are Brahman. So hopefully that makes some difference to your query.
Thanks, Guruji. One more question, like when you were talking about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa going into Samadhi, there was no breath. During that time, the soul goes out of the body.
There is no soul separate from himself. See, there is no soul separate from himself. So there is no Jivatma separate from himself. Paramatman himself is existing. So only he just gets merged in Paramatma. So that soul does not just go and say, I will wait outside, so you come back. No, it doesn't say like that. No.
Because body goes back into a state which doesn't have regular, so I mean I don't know. It's very hard for me to imagine.
Swamiji, I do have a question. Okay, can
See,
you?
ultimately, sorry, Mr. Bhai.
I was going to raise a question, Swamiji, that in the yoga teaching that we had, I think Ranjita and I had the same class done. The teacher was basing the Vedanta teachings on the Sankhya philosophy, and the definition of Jivatma was there done as a combination of Purusha and Prakriti.
No.
So when you say
that is
Purusha and
Sankhya philosophy. It is not the Vedanta philosophy. No,
Right.
it is not the concept of
But
Vedanta.
you talked about Purusha and Prakriti. So they say when they come together, that's when the
Yeah.
Jivatma is.
Well, Purusha is, according to Sankhya philosophy, Purusha is inert. He does not do anything at all.
Right.
He just stays over there. And then Prakriti is also an equal entity as the Purusha. See, it's a dual philosophy. Sankhya is a dual philosophy, just as Dvaita is a dual philosophy. In the same way, Sankhya is also a dual philosophy. It is not the philosophy of monism. In monism, only Brahman exists. Only Brahman exists. But we all ask the question: how is it that I don't see Brahman or I don't realize myself as Brahman? So then an answer has to be given to it. That's why the concept of Maya is being brought about. And he says, yes, the Brahman is there. He is just standing there and he just feels that he should become many and the whole universe manifests out of the Maya. It is just like in the dream. No? In the dream, my mind alone exists over there. But then I have suddenly become the prime minister of the country,
Right.
which I am not. Yet I feel that I am the prime minister. There are other ministers, etc. Just for fun, I said that I gave that example. But is it that you have become? No, it is not. So Brahman is dreaming this dream called the universe, like Shaurin Bhai and Atmishananda and everybody else. It is dreaming. Brahman dreaming this dream as the world. But we do not feel that it is, that we are Brahman. We are one with Brahman. We do not feel it. That is why this concept of Maya has been brought in and says, yes, it is for the time being in the temporal world, it is real for you. There is no doubt about it. But do not think that this is everything. Behind this, there is the absolute. Okay,
Thank you.
that is the
Like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has given one example, like Maya explained as like a young mother giving birth to a child, looking after very well, and then eating the child.
Yeah, Maya. That's why Sri Ramakrishna's explanation for Sri Ramakrishna, Maya or the Divine Mother, the concept of Divine Mother actually, the concept of Divine Mother and Brahman are the same, according to him. It is the concept of is the same. That's why in the beginning itself, I told that Sri Ramakrishna was the first person to come and say that yes, this Maya is also Brahman, is also Brahman. Brahman itself acts as the Maya. And then you have got that example correctly. The divine woman or the divine figure gives birth to a baby, fondles the baby, feeds the baby, etc., and then it gobbles up the whole. So Brahman is Srishti, Sthiti, and Pralaya. That means creation, preservation, and dissolution also, or dissolving. Goes back to the origin, the original state. That is the idea. Brahman and Maya is being equated here by Sri Ramakrishna. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you.
best.